All right, guys. Thanks for being here, for showing up for you, because just like everyone that's watching this and that's here right now, we don't want to stay where we are. We are ready to really live our legacy and we're ready to rise. We're ready to rise to the next thing. And how we start today is just like how we always start. We're going to dance. We're going to shift our energy around. So let's go. I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body, it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. On like the way we rock it, so don't stop. It's under the lights, everything goes. Nowhere high when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. Just to let you, just to let you see what you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good, creeping up on you. Just dance, dance, dance. All those things I should do, but you dance, dance, dance. Yeah, ain't nobody leaving, so just keep dancing. I guess I'm feeling. Just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Ooh, something magical. All right. All right. Yes. So I love to start with movement and the dancing. It's fun, first of all, because we all meet together here and we've had stuff going on. We've all been coming from different things, and some of us maybe aren't in such a great mood because things have happened, or maybe we've just been focusing on work for so long for a few. I know I catch myself doing that, where I'm just sitting behind the desk for a couple of hours, and then I realize that I haven't gotten up and moved. Like, I'm just focused. And when we get up and we dance and we move, we shift that energy around and it helps us to start feeling better. It just gets us in a better mood. So if you ever do catch yourself during your day just not feeling it, maybe you're feeling, I don't know, a little down, a little sluggish, tired, whatever it is, just start moving your energy around. Go for a walk, get up and dance, whatever, and it will definitely change your mood. So thank y'all for that. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so today on our level up session, again, we are here to level up. We are not willing to stay where we are. We want to level up. So I had an experience happen to me over Thanksgiving, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought maybe someone here would be able to relate to this story. So, and if at any time anybody has a question, just go ahead and ask your question if you want to share a story, because that's what I'm all about. I love sharing. I feel like we can all learn from each other. Um, this is not something where I want to just be up here talking to you guys and just like a lecture. I like this to be interactive. So, but what happened to me over Thanksgiving is, holidays, we're preparing. It can get kind of crazy because um, most of us in here are running a business, and you are trying to think ahead and be prepared because we're going to be taking time away from our business and to spend time with our family, which is what we want, right? We want these things. And so that was me. I was preparing, and this was my first Thanksgiving without my mom. My mom passed in April, and she Thanksgiving was her holiday. Like, my husband and I, we've been married a long time, and it was always just part of our it was part of what we did as far as traditions. We spent Thanksgiving with my family. We would go to my mom's in East Texas. She does not live where we live. And we do Christmas with his family here in town. And so after my mom passed, my brothers and I decided that we would still keep the tradition, and we would all meet at my mom's house with my stepdad, because my stepdad is still, he's still with us. And so we went back to their house, and the holidays can be just so fun and so relaxing, but they can also be emotional. They can also be kind of stressful. And being in her house with everything basically the exact same, um, and she, at this time last year, was in the hospital, so all of her Christmas decorations were already out, and they're still out. Everything is still the exact same. Like, my stepdad hasn't really done much of anything except for try to, have some space for himself. But other than that, he hasn't touched anything. And it was really difficult for us. It's beautiful to be there, and it's not the first time I've been there since she's passed, but Thanksgiving, that was kind of difficult to know that this was the day, the time that she really loved and enjoyed. She did all the cooking. She would do the special um, treats for whoever was going to be there, whatever their favorite thing was. She would always prepare it for them. And of course, that was a little different this year. It looked different, but it was still really nice. And I caught myself at times being down and kind of feeling sad. I also caught myself feeling like I should be doing something, like I should be doing more. I, instead of sitting here watching a football game or sitting here just being present and having a conversation with family that I don't get to see all the time, I kind of caught myself thinking I should be um, working more for my business. I have time. I should be doing that. And the reason I bring this up is because I feel like there's a lot of us who are like this, that we feel like we should always be doing something, that it's not okay to just be and to just rest and relax and breathe and just enjoy. And the thing is it is okay. That's what that's the whole purpose of what I'm doing. I'm building my business to I'm basically building my business around my life, around my family. I'm not doing it the other way around. I'm not fitting in my family time around my business. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not putting my business first. I'm putting my family first. I'm putting the things that I wanted to do and the things that I enjoy first, and then working the business around that. And that's what I'm here helping you guys do also, because there's more to life than just working. I did that for a long time. I don't know about you. Yeah, I did that for a very long time. And I put in 10 hours, 12-hour days, and missed things with my kids. And now raising my grandson, I refuse. I'm just not doing that again. I refuse to go back to that. I could have, and I said no, because I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to live my legacy now. We always talk about wanting to build a legacy for our families, and I think that's beautiful. That's wonderful. But nobody wants to build a legacy and then die and just leave it to your kids, right? Or your grandkids. We want to live it. We want to truly live our legacy while we're here, so that when we leave, we're not just leaving money or possessions. We're leaving memories. We're leaving lessons that we're showing our kids and our grandkids on a better way to live than what we were shown. When I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, all we knew is you went to school, you would graduate high school and get a job. You went into the workforce, or you went to college and then you went into the workforce or to tech school or something. You didn't like, no one ever talked to me about having my own business. No one ever talked to me about, doing things that make me happy. It was Where can you have the best living? It wasn't about what do you enjoy doing. It was about how can you make the most money. What is it that you're good at that you can do easily with the least amount of effort. And then once you get into the job force is when you realize that there is no least amount of effort, because what happens is you work overtime. You lose time with your family in order to pay the bills. You just work and work and work and work. And then when you get to retirement age, you live on a fixed income. If you're fortunate enough to even have a retirement, because not everybody has a retirement. And then they end up working until they die, and nobody wants to do that. So, what I want to show you guys how to do is actually build your business doing things that is your passion. What are you passionate about? What is your purpose? And working it around your family so that you can enjoy the things that you love and that you can retire, whatever your retirement looks like, but still have income coming in so that you can enjoy the rest of your life. Now, as I say this, know that I'm not saying that it's easy, right? It's simple. The strategy is very simple, but you still have to do things that are uncomfortable because that's part of growing. And whenever I was at my mom and my stepdad's house over Thanksgiving, just thinking about how far I've come because my mom, she was not able to see where I am now in the last. She passed in April, so that was 8 months ago, I guess. She was still very proud of me from where I was 8 months ago, but like she hasn't been able to see how far I've come in the last 8 months, and it makes me sad that I can't share that with her. But I have an opportunity to change and be able to impact my grandkids and be able to show my kids and my grandkids how they can live differently. They don't have to live the same type of life that I did. And I will admit, like I was that parent who parented my kids the same way that I was parented. You need to go to college. Oh, you don't want to go to college? Then maybe you should go into the military. Maybe you should just go get a job. I didn't know about entrepreneurship, but now that I do, I'm here for it. I am here to show anyone. It doesn't matter how old you are. You don't have to be young to start this, right? You can do this at any age, and anyone can do this. You don't have to have special skills. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to um, have certain contacts that, there's no excuses. Your only excuse is I don't want to. If you don't want to, then that is a perfectly valid excuse. And it's because entrepreneurship is not for everyone. But if you are someone who is ready to step into a new version of yourself, and I say it that way because you do, when you step into anything new, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be a new church. If you're changing churches, you still have to give up something, right? You have to give up the old church. You have to give up the old, whatever it is that's been holding you back from going and finding a new church. You're gonna have to like get up and go on Sunday morning or on Saturday evening or whatever the time is. You have to make changes. You have to give up something. You will sacrifice something for whatever change it is that you make. So if you do decide that you are ready to step into building a new business or growing a business that you have or stepping into a new relationship or changing yourself because you want to get healthier, whatever your change is, there's going to be a sacrifice. So just know that. And even though the sacrifices may seem minimal, And some of them are, some are. But if it's not something that you're used to doing, it can be difficult. Going for a walk, that sounds so simple. Like all you got to do is go for a walk to be healthy every day. But then actually implementing it can be a totally different thing. So I kind of got off my original track of what I was going to talk about today. But sometimes I do that because I feel like sometimes my energy just takes me into a different direction. So what I really want to hone in on with you guys today is that if you are feeling down during the holidays, or if you are having those emotions come up, because that's what can happen during this time of year. We can just have stress going on in so many different areas. We feel like we're being pulled in so many different areas to make people happy. And sometimes we just want to sit on the couch, and we don't want to do that. But we're doing it because we're trying to make other people happy. And sometimes that can just make us feel so stressed and make us, not feel happy. And, some people feel very alone and isolated. You're not alone. Just know that you will get through this. And kind of like how we started this session today, get up and move. If you do start to feel kind of stuck, or you feel kind of alone or isolated, get up and move. Take a walk. Go work in your yard. Go play with your dog. Listen to music. Get in your car and go somewhere and just turn the radio up and listen to that music and sing loud to the music. It can be anything, but just change your situation, and I guarantee you're going to feel a lot better just by moving yourself and changing where you are. But I just want you to know you're not alone. And I wanted to share the story with you about feeling like I should have been doing something more over Thanksgiving, because I'm still learning also, and I think that's the beauty of this, is that we don't, when I talk about rising, I mean that. Like, even though we get to our next level self, when we do get to that next level, we're not going to be happy there after a while. We're going to want to rise again, and we're going to want to keep rising. And it's okay to breathe for a moment, and it's okay to feel like, like if you do feel stuck, it's because that breakthrough is just right there. And just know that you keep going one step at a time, and the consistency is so key. Just keep going, and you're going to get there. And I want you guys to just remember that we are not building a life where we just work, 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 work. We are building a life of doing things that make us happy, doing things that bring us joy, and doing things that with people that we want to be with. And that is the importance of building your life around your, building your life, building your family around your business, because you don't want it to be your business everything. You want the things that you enjoy to be what is the highlight of your life. And I think so many people forget that. I know for a long time, I worked for him for over 20 years. And I honestly, and he is a person who has many businesses, and he worked all the time. And even like late at night, he's on his phone. Early in the morning, he's up on his phone. He would be in between patients in his office with his other business on business calls. And I think that when I saw that, it scared me. And because I've always kind of had the entrepreneurial spirit, like I've always thought about having my own business. But when I saw him working like that, it kind of made me scared. Like, well, I would love to have my own business, but I don't want to be like that. And I didn't know, kind of like, you don't know what you don't know with anything. And in my mind, having a business, that's what it looked like, because I worked for him. He was my boss. And I knew how hard he worked just for that business. And then he had other businesses, and I saw him on the phone all the time with the other businesses. And so that's just what I thought it was supposed to look like. But it's not, guys. We can do this differently. We can do this differently. And that's what I'm here to show you. So does anybody have questions? Anything you want to ask? Or you know what? I am going to stop this recording and then we'll ask some questions here.